studios, and welcome to Game Time. I'm Stephanie Reddy, alongside Greg Anthony and Coach Sam Mitchell. Glad you guys are here with us. We've got 7 games in the NBA. We will get to all of them, I promise. But first things first, because we have 2 on our air tonight, we got to talk about that New York Knicks game, gentlemen. Let's start with you, Coach. We'll go right to the highlight. Let's do it. I love it when we go there.
The high-lows.
Yes, Kyle Kuzma's back, but not starting. The Wizards take on the Knicks, obviously.
But he is dunking.
Baseline drive. He had 9 points. Josh Hart, though, he came alive this second quarter. I'm not going to spoil it for you. He hits a three-pointer, but he won't be finished. Josh Hart this time hits the runner, gets fouled, and he makes the free throw. He had 17 in the second quarter, career high for him for all quarters of his career. Halftime, Knicks up by 2. In the third, Brunson finds Kat. Reverse dunk for him. And then Sarr with a nice drive. He had 18 points and 4 rebounds.
He had some flashes tonight, but so did that guy.
Jalen Brunson with the floater.
Captain. Look at it.
Miles McBride with the steal.
That's my dude. Look at it. Nice left hand. That's power.
Karl-Anthony Towns, 32 points and 13 rebounds.
All NBA, Carl.
For another double-double. Knicks win it 126-106. Remember, these 2 teams played on Saturday, and it took overtime for the Knicks to beat the Washington Wizards. I know you were concerned, Coach, because you said sometimes when your team plays a team that they should beat, it's hard to have them stay focused and play at a high level. What'd you think about how they performed?
Well, in the first half, the game was close. But then Karl-Anthony Towns and Hart and those guys kind of put their foot on the gas a little bit and kind of took this, extended this lead and closed them out. But you just watch the Knicks. I love watching teams that are playing with a purpose and a chip on their shoulder. I like watching teams play where they're trying to beat you by 50 if they can. Those teams that play like that and they don't worry about who they're playing, they just worry about how they're playing, those are championship caliber teams. You know, you go back last year to Boston Celtics. That's how they were.
Yep.
You look at Cleveland this year. They're beating people by 10 or more. So I'm really excited about what I'm seeing with the Knicks. Again, I'm going to go again, and I hate to be Debbie Downer. That bench, that lack of bench scoring or players coming off that bench, that is concerning. Think about this. The Knicks are 1 injury away from falling back to the regular pack, to everybody's impact. They're going to have to figure out a way to address that bench because if you look at the stat sheet tonight, all their starters averaging, their lowest scores in the starting lineup is 14 points a game at Josh Hart. All of their guys are scoring double figures. So that tells me if 1 or 2 of those guys get injured for a game or 2 or a week or 2, they could be in trouble.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Josh Hart, Coach. GA, he was tremendous tonight. Triple-double for him.
He's really kind of like the heart and soul of the team, you know, because he's one of those jack-of-all-trade type players. He really can do everything. He can lead you in rebounding. He can be your best perimeter defender. He can be your best post defender. And tonight, he was their best three-point shooter, you know, knocking down 4 in this game. He does so many things that help your team win basketball games. And just having a feel for how the game's going, right? Because we saw Jalen Brunson after that 55-point game. Wasn't the Jalen Brunson that we're typically used to seeing. And he senses that. Yeah, but he senses that and finds a way to go out and contribute in areas where you don't necessarily expect it. Like, you don't typically expect him to knock down 4 threes and give you 23. The rebounding, the 10 assists.
No.
Like, he just does so many things at a high level.
Yeah.
And it's one of the reasons why he leads them in minutes. Like Tibbs understands he just has so much value and impact on winning for this team, and the rest of the team appreciates and understands that as well.
Having a guy that don't mind doing all the things that the stars don't like to do, that's why he plays the most minutes. Think about it. If he's not scoring, he's going to play even harder defense.
Yeah.
He's going to rebound. He's going to get in the passing lane. He's going to get you some assists. He's going to get you some. All those things that we call little things, that's what guys like Josh Hart do to help you win. They do all those things that don't show up on the stat sheet, but if they don't do them, they get you beat.
Yep. That's really good. 8-game winning streak for the New York Knicks. So let's talk about the Washington Wizards. Hey, there was a bright spot. You're looking at the box score. Jonas Valanciunas, he had 22 and 8 boards, GA. So you have to appreciate that, right?
No, he played well. I think the issue for them is that Valanciunas has played his best basketball. He's still a good player. It can be a contributor on a good team and definitely had some moments. But if you're a Washington Wizards fan, he's one of the last guys you're concerned with in terms of his performance.
Right.
You want to see Alex Sarr and Bilal Coulibaly. You want to see those guys and Bub Carrington. Your young guys to find out, okay, do we have a strong enough young core nucleus? Can we do what we've seen OKC do, what we see the Orlando Magic doing over time? Not like, are those guys going to be good enough to be the core on a team that can compete in the next 2 years in the Eastern Conference? And that's what, if I'm a fan of the Wizards, that's what I want to know. When you are a bad team, a fan wants hope.
Right.
You want to see some young talent. If you're the Charlotte Hornets we had tonight, they got a magical backcourt. When you think about Miller and Ball. If you're the Wizards, you want to see some of these young guys start to show you they got a chance to be a star. You said earlier, we want to see, do we have that guy on our roster?
We have him in the building.
Or at least do we have guys that can play with the guy if and when we get him? And so that's really where the focus is. If you're a Wizards fan right now, you just want a sense of hope when you look at the roster that they have.
Well,
that was a downer, I know.
it was a little bit, but that's okay.
It's kind of
reality.
tough when
It's
Karl
reality.
Anthony Towns almost outscores your entire starting lineup.
Yikes, Coach.
By itself.
Kat did a great job tonight.
It's kind of hard, man.
All right, guys, let's take a look at this. De'Aaron Fox warming up. Dallas is on the road to take on the Sacramento Kings. I'm not even going to tell you who's out for the Dallas Mavericks because you might not stay tuned long enough to hear the rest of it. So just stay with us if you're De'Aaron Fox. Getting ready. I like what they said, unleash the beam. They only light the beam when they win, so that's what they're getting at.
It's been dark.
It's been dark there for a while. It is not. They need to start playing the daytime.
Hey, well,
At 12 noon.
I mean,
will they light the beam tonight against the Dallas Mavericks? There's DeMar DeRozan.
they're going to have a great chance tonight because I know you have some breaking news for our fans.
If they don't light it tonight, they may not ever light it again. Ever.
My goodness, Coach.
Well, look who's all out for that
said
one. Give us the list, Stephanie.
They may have to go solar. They may have to start. They may have to get solar power.
It is bad news if you're a Mavericks fan or an NBA fan, for that matter. Kyrie Irving is out with the shoulder soreness. Here we go. Here's a tweet from Mavs PR. Luka Doncic is out, left calf strain. Dante Exum, right wrist. Kyrie Irving, right shoulder. Derek Lively, the second, left hip contusion. You get the idea. Klay Thompson also out. Najee Marshall out. So that's a rough list right there.
Well, why don't you just tell us who's playing?
I mean,
it would have been better to say who's
might
playing.
have been better that way.
Yeah.
It is unfortunate because, we already knew Luka was out, but we were hoping that Kyrie Irving would play. And Klay, of course, with the illness, that's unfortunate. But GA, and this kind of goes back to what you talked about, Coach, earlier. For our first game, you have to be very careful when you are approaching an opponent that has lack of players due to injury or whatever, or you feel like you're supposed to beat them anyway. It's kind of the same situation. So, GA, what do the Kings have to do to win this game and get up for an opponent that they're missing all their key players?
Yeah, well, the one advantage they have is they're desperate. I mean, they've lost 6 games in a row. They just had a coach fired. There should be a sense of urgency right now. And listen, the reality is this is a team. 2 years ago, it was like probably the biggest story in the league. Yep. It was magical. And they've lost the magic. Like literally, they don't have that superpower that they had. There was an energy and a confidence that they played with that this group has just not displayed this year. And they also have not gotten better defensively. And so not having as good an offense as you had a couple years ago and then also not improving defensively leads to you losing a lot of these close games because they're not getting blown out either. They're just